Takemichi Hanagaki is a 26-year-old ugly, riskless guy whose life has been nothing but a series of frustrations. While lounging at home, eating snacks, he watches a news report about a violent altercation within the Tokyo Manji gang that caused several civilian casualties, including Naoto and Hinata Tachibana. Takemichi is stunned as Hinata was his only girlfriend back in middle school. A neighbor interrupts his thoughts, complaining about his loud TV, and Takemichi apologizes. At work, his manager scolds him for not shelving DVDs correctly, and again, Takemichi apologizes. On his way home, some kids scratch a car and run, leaving him to take the blame. At the train station, overwhelmed by his constantly apologetic, unfulfilled life, someone suddenly pushes him onto the tracks. Just before the train hits, Takemichi's last thought is of Hinata. To his shock, Takemichi flashes back to his second year of middle school in 2005, where life was much better, and he even had a girlfriend. He finds himself in his 14-year-old body, surrounded by his old friends Makoto, Yamagishi, Akin, and Takuya. Upon realizing it is July 4th, 2005, Takemichi is confused but goes along with his friends to a burger joint. They mention how lucky they are that Takemichi's cousin, Masaru, is the leader of Shibuya 3rd Middle School, offering them protection from older kids. However, Takemichi knows this isn't true. When they head to Shibuya for a fight with second-year students, they are instead confronted by Masataka Kayamizu, a third year, who exposes Masaru as nothing more than a gopher for the gang. The harsh reality sets in as Takemichi and his friends are beaten up and forced to join the Tokyo Manji gang, marking the beginning of his torment that led him to leave town after graduating. Takemichi, overwhelmed by his return to the past, goes to visit Hinata, almost forgetting what she looked like. Upon seeing his bruises, she scolds him for fighting over meaningless things. Overcome with emotion, Takemichi cries, claiming he just wanted to see her. Hinata tries to comfort him, sensing something strange about his behavior, but he leaves, heading to a playground to clear his head. While sitting on the swings, he notices some boys harassing a child. Takemichi steps in, threatening the bullies until they run off. The child introduces himself as Naoto Tachibana, Hinata's younger brother. Knowing that Naoto is destined to die in 12 years, Takemichi warns him to protect his sister and shares that he traveled back in time. He urges Naoto to remember the date July 1st, 2017, as it is when both he and Hinata will die. When they shake hands, everything goes black. Takemichi awakens in the present, unharmed but confused, on July 4th, 2017. He is in the train station infirmary and wonders how he survived. Naoto, now an adult police officer, appears, explaining that Takemichi changed the past by warning him. As a result, Naoto was able to save him. However, despite their efforts, Naoto still couldn't save Hinata. Desperate, Naoto asks Takemichi to help him change the future and save his sister permanently. Takemichi agrees to help Naoto save Hinata. Naoto explains that Takemichi possesses the power of time travel, but his ability is limited. He can only jump exactly 12 years into the past, always on the same day. For the next 2 days, Takemichi stays in Naoto's room, trying to memorize all the information Naoto has gathered about the Tokyo Manji gang. Some of this information is highly sensitive and was discovered by Naoto's predecessor during an undercover investigation, but the investigation came to a brutal end when his cover was blown, and he was killed. A video of the murder was later found hidden in his eye socket. Naoto has been working hard to solve the case since he got transferred to this position 6 months ago and believes Takemichi's time-traveling abilities could be the key to changing the future. Since Takemichi cannot time travel at will, Naoto advises him that when he returns to the past, his mission must be to meet the 2 most crucial members of the Tokyo Manji gang, Manjiro Sano, also known as Mikey, and Tada Kisaki. Naoto theorizes that if these 2 never meet, the current Tokyo Manji gang won't exist, and Hinata will survive. Though Takemichi is unsure how he'll achieve this, Naoto suggests that the key to triggering the time jump is a handshake, as seen before. They shake hands, and Takemichi is sent back 12 years. Takemichi finds himself in the middle of an underground fight club, with people betting on who will win. Confused, he checks his phone to confirm he's in the past, but before he can react, he is knocked out by his opponent. When he regains consciousness, Masataka Kayamizu's gang is furious with him because weak fights like his could ruin the betting business. Masataka orders his men to beat Takemichi as punishment. As Takemichi is attacked, he recalls how he used to be Masataka's slave, an experience so miserable that it drove him to abandon his friends and Hinata. Before Masataka leaves, Takemichi mentions his desire to meet Manjiro or Tada, which infuriates Masataka. He grabs a bat and beats Takemichi more violently, threatening to kill him if he speaks Manjiro's name again. This violent response terrifies Takemichi, making him doubt whether meeting these powerful figures is even possible. Shaken, Takemichi heads to Naoto's house, intending to shake hands and return to the present. However, he forgets that Hinata also lives there. When she sees him beaten up, she expresses concern. Hinata tells Takemichi that if she were a boy, she'd fight to protect him. Deeply moved by her words, Takemichi promises to protect her instead. Surprised, he calls her Hina, and she blushes, happy to hear her nickname. This interaction reignites Takemichi's determination to save Hinata. The next day, Takemichi's friends meet in the bathroom, worried about the fight club. Takuya, one of their friendlier friends, is set to fight, and Takemichi remembers that Takuya almost died in this fight. Just before the fight begins, Takemichi boldly steps in and challenges Masataka himself, declaring a fight between a king and a slave. Takemichi realizes that if he wants to save Hinata, he can't remain weak, so he challenges Masataka to a fight. Masataka agrees, and Takemichi quickly realizes how much stronger his opponent is. Despite a brutal beating, Takemichi refuses to give up, determined to fight for something more important than himself. His friend Atsushi, seeing the situation grow desperate, contemplates stabbing Masataka to end the violence. However, Atsushi notices that the crowd, initially cheering for Masataka, has gone silent, captivated by Takemichi's relentless willpower. Even as Takemichi's friends urge him to quit, he refuses, declaring that if Masataka wants to win, he'll have to kill him. Surprised by Takemichi's resolve, Masataka grabs a bat, signaling his intention to escalate the fight. Just as the situation reaches a critical point, Ken Ryoguchi, Draken, the vice commander of the Tokyo Manji gang, steps in, telling Masataka to calm down, as he is scaring the crowd. Manjiro Sano Mikey, the gang's commander, arrives soon after, complaining to Ken about running out of dorayaki, a sweet snack. The crowd immediately bows in respect to Mikey, leaving Takemichi's friends confused by the sudden shift in atmosphere. Mikey approaches Takemichi and, after asking his name, nicknames him Takemichi. To everyone's surprise, Mikey declares that Takemichi is his new friend. When Mikey discovers that Masataka is in charge of the fight club, he kicks him in the face and beats him up. Quickly bored, Mikey orders Draken to ensure the fight club doesn't tarnish the Tokyo Manji gang's reputation, and then they leave. Later, Takemichi's friends, Kazushi and Makoto, are thrilled that he became friends with Mikey, but Takemichi is terrified, feeling that he's traded one dangerous figure for an even scarier one. Atsushi confesses that he had planned to stab Masataka to free them from his grip, but thanks to Takemichi's courage, they are now free. The next morning, Takemichi runs into Hinata, who invites him on a date after her cram school. In class, he reflects on how he met Mikey, but is still unsure how to prevent him from meeting Tadakasaki, the key to changing the future. Suddenly, Mikey and Draken burst into his classroom, casually asking Takemichi to hang out. Outside, Takemichi sees third-year students beaten up by Draken, who orders them to lie on their stomachs as Mikey and Draken walk over them. Mikey invites Takemichi to join them, but Hinata arrives, misinterpreting the situation, thinking Mikey and Draken are bullying Takemichi. Without hesitation, Hinata slaps Mikey and tries to take Takemichi away. Draken blocks them, but Hinata boldly tells them off, saying real friends wouldn't take someone by force. Impressed by her spirit, Mikey promises not to harm her. When Hinata apologizes for slapping him, Mikey reassures her, and she lets Takemichi go with them, postponing their date. As Takemichi rides bikes with Mikey and Draken, he recalls Naoto's warning about the gang's dark future and wonders how Mikey, who doesn't seem evil, could cause such destruction. Mikey explains that Takemichi reminds him of his older brother, who inspired him to lead a new era for delinquents. Takemichi, still uncertain, wonders what could have changed Mikey and the Tokyo Manji gang so drastically. While lost in thought, he passes a group of guys and gets the strange feeling that he's seen one of them before.